Hey guys, a warm welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're back on our 360 Challenge Stradale Spider build. Now we've already taken a lot of stuff off of the silver donor car. Today the focus is going to be on this one. We're going to start that conversion. Let me spin the camera and tell you exactly what the plan is. Now there's a lot of differences between the Stradale and the normal cars here in the cabin area. We have no carpets, we have the Alcantara seats, the dash, all the center console, everything is different. All the switches, all the wiring for the switches, really very different between the two cars. So we're stripping this out. We've already taken out all of the stuff from the Strad. That's gone off to be retrimmed in Alcantara again, so it's all fresh. So we've got the dash, but now the main differences between the two cars, the Coupe and the Spider, is all here. So we're going to strip out the back area. We've done most of it. We've got the carpet to do, and then all of this is going to get retrimmed to match the rest of the car. So that is our carpet. That's going to get retrimmed in Alcantara. Next job on the Spider is we are doing the soundproof deadening. Now Ferrari stick this horrible gooey stuff. Let me show you what they use. It's like this. This is a thin part of it all over the floor here. Now it actually weighs quite a bit and it's a horrible nasty process to try and get it off. It's basically some kind of rubberized coating that they put down in these panels here. And the only real way I've found to do it that is effective is to heat it up with a heat gun, just gently. You don't want to go too much, you don't want to burn it, and then use a scraper and slowly work your way around. Heat it up, and that is just first part of the process. It then leaves this horrible gooey kind of sticky substance that I'm still working my way through to try and get it. I've done that first side over there, and look at this. I'm putting it all in the back. We're going to weigh it after. That is just one side, and that's probably maybe a couple of kilos there. So we've got that, we've got all the actual underlay, and we're going to weigh it all at the end and see just how much weight it saves on these things. Alright, check this nasty stuff out. So that's one panel done. Look, it's all warm at the moment for where I'm heating it, but look at that. Now that is actually the easy part, getting the top layer off. This gooey stuff that is left over, this residue, is really hard to come off. I've got a product over there, I've sprayed it on, but then actually getting it off with a cloth is proven to be damn impossible at the moment. I've started on that panel over there on the other side, but yeah, a long way to go yet. Okay, so that's stage one done. So we've got all of that thick padding stripped off, but actually that's the easy part. The hard part now is getting the remaining goo that is left over stripped back. As you can see, I've done one panel here, and then we've got the real bad ones are going to be the back ones here, but we'll be removing everything before we do any of that. Look at that, 8 kilograms of horrible sound deadening rubber. It's taken me 3 days if not more, to get off the car. Pretty decent weight saving that. I love getting questions from you guys in the comments. One that pops up often is, where do I buy my cars and how do I protect myself when I'm buying them? Well, information is critical when you're buying any car. I bought Ferraris from Europe, from the US, obviously my main source is here in the UK, and I've bought cars on information and pictures alone. I've not traveled to the US to buy them. All cars have turned out to be good, whereas I've bought a 355 here in the UK from a female model years ago. I turned up, the car was in a very shoddy looking block of garages. It was really fishy, and I remember I even called the police to get some advice on how I could protect myself when I was, you know, buying this car, and I had sleepless nights over that one. But nowadays we've got a great company called Car Vertical to put your mind at rest. Unlike others, Car Vertical works in over 20 different countries. The UK, the US, Europe, Australia, wherever you are, they've got it covered. And the great thing is you can run the checks on your registration or your VIN number. Check out this accident damaged Ferrari F8 Tributo, for example. Now at that price, the car is most likely going to get repaired. So imagine if you're buying that one in the future. With Car Vertical, they run reports pulling data from a magnitude of sources and databases, and it will show you things like if the car had an accident in the past, if the odometer's been rolled back, the equipment the car came with when it was new, if it's been stolen, and pictures of how the car looked like when it had an accident. We've all heard the story. It had a little scuff, mate, down the side, that's all. Just a tiny bit of paint to correct it. I honestly don't understand why the insurance company wrote that one off. And then you discover what it actually really looked like when it had an accident. Yeah, right, mate. So Ratarossa's car buying tip of the day is make sure you're equipped with Car Vertical. It's totally free to create an account, and by using my link in the description below, you're going to save yourself an additional 10% on any reports. So the focus on the build has started on the interior, the cabin of the car. Now, the reason for that is because there are just so many differences between the standard Spider and the Stradale in regard to wiring, switches, position of switches, door opening devices, dash, steering wheel, steering column, and floors. Obviously, as you can see, we've done a lot of the work. I'm going to come and show you what we've been doing here. But the reason we've had to do this is because there are so many differences with the switches and how they behave, where they are housed. I needed to change all that, and I needed to be able to test everything prior to moving on. I didn't want to strip the whole car, the engine out of the back here, and then find we got a problem and then try and trace where that problem is. I wanted to do this, test everything before we started stripping out all the other bits on the car. So I'm happy to say we're almost there. We've got a couple of switches to do on this one. I've got to figure out the door locks, completely different on here. We've got a door lock button, whereas on the normal doors it was a pull switch and a start button, really, and then the stereo. That's it. That's the only little bit of wiring we've got left on here. Next step on the build is all the bodywork. Now, there is subtle differences between the Stradale and the Spider. For example, the side skirts here, they come down a bit more square on the Stradale, and they give it that more mean stance. So everything's got to come off here. We've got to switch it all over. Simple as that. I might have removed all the bolts earlier. And there you go, guys, that is a Stradale one offered up. You can see the differences. It comes down a lot more square, makes it look a little bit more lower, and gives it that meaner stance. I'm sure you'll agree, it looks much nicer. Anyway, hopefully it's all that easy, but it's not gonna be, because we now need to spray that with the rest of the car. It's not my job, it's these guys. Another change between the two cars is the back bumper. Same thing, it comes down a little bit lower at the back there, and it's really hard to spot, but it's all going to get changed. There's so many subtle little differences between the two cars. These are the little grills that sit in the back bumper. Look at the pattern on those. We've just got a circular pattern, whereas this one, completely different. Most people wouldn't even notice it, but these are the bits that make a project like that worthwhile. And it's the same on the front bumpers. You can see the grills here in the side, and then the Challenge Stradale ones. And again, personal preference, they look so much nicer. Okay, so we've had a little bit of fun. We've put all the bumpers on just to get an idea of how this car is going to start to look. So all the Strad stuff is on this one. Next job, I got my man Fresher with me. We are going to both work on these two together and change all 4 corners. So we're going to be doing all of the carbon ceramic brakes, all of the hubs, and I'll talk through a couple of little things that are different as we get to them. So Fresh is going to work on the Spider, start getting all of the back off of this one. I'm going to work on the Strad, and we're going to change it over and then move to the front of the car. First thing I'm going to do is remove all the shafts. Fresh is doing the same. I've given Fresh the harder job actually on the Spider because I forgot to remove the under tray, which is kindly done. So shafts off both sides, and then the plan here is we are literally going to remove the complete thing. So the difference between the Stradale and the normal cars, titanium springs, different shocks, even all of the bushes are completely different between the two cars. Obviously we've got the carbon ceramic discs, we got the different calipers, much bigger calipers, special pads for the carbon brakes. So the best way is we are literally going to unbolt the full corner here, take it all off, switch it between the other cars. I'm going to do the brakes at a separate stage, so we're just going to take those off, same with the handbrakes, so I can just bleed all of those at the same time. But all the corners are going to be switched between the two cars. Okay, Fresher is going to take off this very expensive corner. I'm going to put it on the mat, protect this carbon disc. Good. Look at that. That is one expensive corner. Thank you, buddy.
Cheers, buddy.
Carbon disc, titanium springs, all the different CS bushes. There you go. We just got like another 7 corners to do now, right? That's one corner out, so we have the brake calipers to go, both the brake and the handbrake caliper. And the other thing that we're going to need to do in this corner here is this rear anti-roll bar. That is 20% stiffer on the Stradale, so we're going to switch that over onto the Spider. Nice thing about the Stradale is everything is so much cleaner, so once it's on this car it's going to look great. Alright, so we have both of the complete rear corners off of the Stradale. Same over here on the Spider. That one's all off, the other one is all unbolted, ready just to pull off. And as you can see, there's a few differences between them, mainly the complete rear shock with the springs, titanium springs on the Strad, everything here, all of the bushes. And the other nice thing, like I said, is it's a lot cleaner on here. We'll give it a final clean up when it's all in the car. But look at that, rusty, clean. Taking the discs off just to be cautious on this one, and now it's time to switch all over. We're just on the anti-roll bar as well, that's all ready, and last bit, put it in place. So we're just taking the handbrake calipers, changing those over. They are very slightly different between the two cars. We couldn't see it to start with, but the Stradale has got a little bit of a recess to make it slightly wider here, otherwise it won't fit on the hub, and the carbon brake. So switching those over, and it's got special pads as well, so it has to be done. Well guys, there you go, the Stradale Spider is really starting to take shape now, and I am thoroughly enjoying myself on this build. Those carbon ceramic brakes on the Spider, wow, they look amazing, and as Ferris Bueller would say, they are choice. Now I do have myself a few little gremlins to still sort out on the wiring on the inside, the start button, which is obviously key on a Stradale, and the door lock switch. But I do have one of these that I've had for a very long time. This is the technical documentation, the official Ferrari factory stuff for the Challenge Stradale. The problem is, it only works, it's a CD-ROM as you can see, and I have a special dongle I plug in as well. But this is so old, it works up to Windows XP Service Pack 2. So 2005 that was published in. Anyway, hopefully I can get that one working, and we can figure out those last two little gremlins. Next video is going to be two engines coming out of both cars, switching them over, transplanting them. Sounds easy, but I'm sure we are going to have a few head scratching moments with that one. Anyway guys, hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget, check out what I get up to on a daily basis over on my Instagram, and also if you are going to buy a car, make sure you check out Car Vertical and save yourself a few headaches. Until the next time guys, stay safe, ciao for now.